called Telegram, for us, if exam results got published in Vizag, I used to wait for a telegram to come thereafter. Because even newspapers never used to publish the results, so you know exactly what you got as marks. So you live in an age which has an enormity in terms of information explosion. I am 60 plus. We are only two at home, my wife and me. And one thing which I feel very good, and I want all of you to learn this, is knowledge is inexpensive. Knowledge is inexpensive, but knowledge does enormous amount of good to people. So I come back home 7:30, around that time, 7:30, 8 o'clock is typically when I get home in the evening. If I'm in town, invariably my wife and I have dinner together. After that we switch on the TV. But more importantly, we get to discuss any topic in our life. And if we have a doubt, we quickly have an answer. Where does it come from? Google. Very good. Who has said that? Yes, it's Google. So you see, this is not true even 10 years back. Google was not there. What is the punchline? The punchline says, when in doubt, Google. Right? So therefore, if you look at what is happening today in the world, the way in which we thought, our thinking, the way in which we behave, the way in which we transacted have all changed. It's 15 years since I went to a bank. There's no need, there's internet banking. I can transact through SWIFT, not necessarily in India. I can send money, get money from anywhere in the world. Very rarely do I sign a check at this point of time. I still recall writing a letter to my grandfather. And I was about 10 years, 11 years old, first time writing letters in English. And what did I get in return, of course, is the postcard that went out to him, got marked up for all the spelling mistakes I had, and sent back in an envelope to me. Today, do you have that as a challenge? No. There's a spell checker all the time. You get into Word, you get into any other variation of Word. I actually get a little disappointed these days because I am forgetting spellings myself. So every time that a spell checker says that I made a mistake, I look at it 3 times because I don't want the spell checker to be my boss. But life has changed. Can I stop therefore the spell checker coming in to improve my memory? I can. But if there is convenience, why lie? The way in which we transact business has changed. We were waiting for purchase orders to come in. Customers to write letters to us. It is instantaneous. At 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, the conference calls that are set up, globally people conference into one particular line. All the issues are sorted out, the minutes of the meeting generated at the end of the call, which get automatically generated actually. So look at the way in which our life has got transformed. Transformation has been a big thing that happened to all of us. I can give you a number of examples, but what has helped us is tremendous amount of pace at which we can learn. Technology is helping us learn too. How many of you know a website called khanacademy.com? Just one hand, 4 hands. Please go back to your classrooms after you finish this lecture. Please go and Google on Khan Academy, Udacity, Coursera. They are outstanding sites. I would make a very strong recommendation to our learned principal that you should look at them. Because a number of courses that get done by these sites at this point in time, actually Khan Academy is a non-profit, it doesn't charge you at all, whereas Udacity and Coursera charges. But I think it's an extremely good tool for the students to follow. Your learning pace can improve quite a bit. I went and did a course on algebra where I am in my life on Khan Academy, just to understand how well he does it. A Pakistani individual today turning around the whole world by putting his courses on internet. So learning has become very, very fast. And there doesn't seem to be an end for the type of applications that come in. The life is changing so dramatically. One of my, as I said, I just came back from travel abroad. I have a new application on my iPhone which is called Udacity. Sorry, not Udacity. Uber. U-B-E-R. If you like to go and Google it, there's Uber and UberX. So if you want to get a taxi, what do you do in life? Yeah, I mean, at least now what you do is call the taxi company, tell the guy that you need a taxi at 3 o'clock, tell him that you're about to go to the airport, tell him what your name is, where the location is, how to get to your location, come and pick you up, and so on and so forth. All that you do at this point. You go to this applet called Uber, you become a registered user one time. After that, just go and tap on that application. What does it bring up? It brings up a map in front of you. Map of your neighborhood. Map of your neighborhood, which are with all the taxis which are there free at that point of time. They're all small little icons that come up on the map. You just go touch one of them. That's all you need to do. Which means you're requesting him to come and pick you up. What happens as a result of that is that precisely then it will show up how much time it will take to come and pick you up. You don't need to make a phone call. You don't need to tell him your address. He doesn't call you to find where you are. Given the GPS that's there on your smartphone, he knows precisely where you are. If he says 11 minutes, 11 minutes later, you'll see a black town car standing in front of you with the door opening up. And he will only ask you one question, Mr. Reddy. Obviously meaning, are you Mr. Reddy? You get to the car, the next question is, where do I go? The answer is Westbridge Mall. There's no other conversation that goes on. Where is Westbridge Mall? How do I get there? How much time you have? None whatsoever. At Westbridge Mall, the door opens. You get off the car. You say thank you. He would say thank you, Mr. Reddy. You don't pay for it. It's already the payment is done using your smart card, your credit card. So look at how the life is changing. Life is changing. This is not virtual stuff that I'm telling you. Some of you are laughing at it, but this is not laughing stock. This is real. Kids like you write applications like this. Kids like you, I'm telling you, kids like you write applications like this. Why are we not doing it? You know the market cap of Uber? $5 billion. That's the value of that company today. I don't want to get to Uber more often. So therefore, this is all reality at this point of time. What am I trying to tell all my young friends here is, there is change. And this change is not going to be temporary. The change is permanent. It will constantly happen. So one is to say, oh my God, this is changing all the time, what do I do? But change leads you into one thing which I keep calling it as the opportunity. So there are challenges because of the changes that are happening, and because of these challenges leads you into opportunities too. While, you know, at one point of time we said India did not progress too well. Yes, because, you know, if you look at, I don't know how many of you knew, till 1980s, there were only 2 cars that were available to anybody to buy in this country. One was called Fiat, the other was called Ambassador. Today, there are at least 200 cars that you can go and buy. You had 10 years waiting time in 1980s after you bought a car for the guy, not 80s, 70s. If you bought a car, it took you anywhere between 5 years to 7 years for the car guy to deliver the car to you. 5 years, 7 years. Don't think that I'm talking about something which is different. Today, he'll deliver the car on the spot. He gives you, right royally, he gives you the keys. As soon as you say, I need the car, rest of it is all signatures. So therefore, the pace at which this technology is changing today is enormous, and that leads you into a lot of opportunities. So therefore, whom are these opportunities being presented to at this point of time? I said young people like you, but let me understand how much you know about what's happening in the world. Did you hear about a name called Steve Jobs? So somebody please stand up and describe Steve Jobs to me. Several people said yes. To my left, please stand up and tell me who is Steve Jobs. Give them the mic. Who wants the mic? Who are wearing a black color? Get the mic.
Please raise the hand.
Very good. Thank you very much. What else? Continue. Tell me more about it.
Sorry to say, but I don't know much about him. I just saw who is the founder.
See, that is one big, thank you. Let's still give her a clap for her standing up. But I think, you know, one of the things that I make a very strong appeal to Mr. Nageshwara Garu is that your students have to stand up and talk. That is the cultural change that has to happen. Learning will never happen unless they speak out. Who was Steve Jobs? To me, I call him magician. A man who turned around 4 technologies in one generation in this world. We talked about Apple computers. Computers was just one industry he touched. I'll be brutally honest, I never believed that in my generation I would see a telephone, a computer, a music system and a video all in one device. And what is that device called? iPhone. Is Steve Jobs somebody who came from Mars? No. He was like you, he was like me. He failed several times in what he wanted to do. So unless you attempt to do something, you will never succeed. If you don't put up your hands and try to answer the question, you will never get to know what the answer is. You live in that whole world of darkness. So therefore, I think if Steve Jobs could do it, why not us? Let me ask you one more question. I won't ask you, this is not the big quiz that I'm going to run. So let me ask you another question.